And welcome back to Let's Talk News Now. Rick Singer here, along with Dirk Thomas. Dirk, if you're just catching up, we had quite a conversation just a moment ago on the Martin Zimmerman case. But Dirk, there's a lot of things all of a sudden that are going on with police, county officers, sheriffs, so on and so on, not just here in Clark County, but around the country. The United States is now suing a county in Arizona and is also filing against the Sheriff's Department. Sheriff Arpaio.
Good old Joe, Sheriff Joe. One of my favorite people.
Okay, so at this point they're basically saying there's between profiling and prejudices. At least the U.S., their position is, in this particular case, it appears as though, or their complaint is, that the sheriff has actually crossed a line. The sheriff has crossed a line with policies on what he called profiling. They're saying unconstitutional. He's actually broken people's rights.
Right. And he probably has. My problem...
What did you do with a smirk on your face?
Well, because I don't know exactly what they're referring to, so I can't...
They're talking specifically about the Hispanic community.
Right, right, and because he's really big on immigration.
Exactly.
My problem with Joe is that I think when he first started out as a sheriff, you know, I really admired him because he was willing to, he had beliefs, he stood up for them, he believed in doing things for his county, for his state, and he wasn't shy. He just came right out and whatever he felt like he needed to do, he did. My problem with though is that over the years, as he's become more and more powerful, he's become more like a caricature of himself. Mm-hmm. And so he does outrageous things a lot of times just to be outrageous, as opposed to being outrageous with a purpose in mind. And that's my problem with him, because now, as this caricature, he's losing respect. A lot of the people that used to respect him are now starting to think, well, you know, come on, man.
Come on, Joe.
Yeah, you got to knock some of that stuff off, because at some point, you start to hurt your cause. You know what I mean? When you first start out, you can be a little outrageous, and you can do certain things, and you can get away with it because it's all for the right cause. Mm-hmm. But once you start getting a little bit power hungry and you start becoming that caricature, or you start believing your own press, which is even more part of it.
That's the worst thing you can do.
Then you're actually hurting your cause now, because you're so pompous and you're so arrogant and you're so adamant that your way is the only way and you don't want to listen to anybody else's thoughts about it.
Right.
Now you're starting to have a really serious problem, and now people that even were on your side are now against you. People that were on the fence are definitely against you.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, the whole state of Arizona, when it comes to immigration, they're right on the line, and you know, between Mexico and the United States, they have the brunt of whatever is coming through. I mean, at least they're getting a lot of that. So it is a situation of where...
But there's a lot of things to immigration that people don't understand, and this is what makes me angry.
What's that?
When you have illegal immigrants and they have children, the school system bears the brunt of that. When they get in accidents and go to the hospital system bears the brunt of that. There's millions of dollars of money that these states that are on the border that have illegal immigrants that have to foot the bill. That's why a lot of these states are going broke. And people don't get that. They think that, oh, well, it should be okay because, you know, they're working or they're doing this or they're doing that. Yeah, I mean, partly it's our fault because we allowed them to come over here for so many years and we thought it was okay because we were paying cheap labor. Mm-hmm. But the fact of the matter is, there's so many other things. When they have children and they go to the hospital, when they get hurt and go to the hospital, all these things are paid for by the taxpayers.
And I'll tell you what, and this is going to be a hot subject, so I know, especially in a political year, we're going to be talking about this and many other things. So yourself, and I'm going to get some other folks on here that may have a different perspective, so we'll look forward to doing that. A little bit closer to home.
Okay.
Sheriff's departments, counties, different ways, policies, procedures. And that's one of the things I've learned, is that actually different counties, different sheriffs in different states have different policies and way of doing things, different ways of law enforcement.
Right.
And it is led that way. Okay. Here in Clark County, this past week, huge deal, and that is that Metro officers do not have what the NHP has, Nevada Highway Patrol has, which is the cams on the dashboards.
Right.
To be able to observe all the activities, to not only have that information for court cases when necessary, but also for protection of the officer. If someone's
I always thought it was a great idea.
Right. Well, now here in Clark County, Sheriff Gillespie is testing cameras not on the hood of the car or on the visor of the car, but actually on the police officers as well. There's been a big pushback from the union saying this is not, according to our contract, a required renegotiation. Yes or no? Simple or not so simple? Should they have them on the officers? Should they not have them on the officers?
I'd say no. I don't think it's. This is a very complicated issue, so I'm not going to just blurt out something. But
right.
my gut feeling, if I was a police officer, I would not want a camera on me. What happens if you're during your lunch hour, or at some point that you're not officially on duty, but you still have your uniform on, and you still that camera's still going? What if the camera accidentally goes and catches something that's not supposed to see? That's personally embarrassing for you.
Then it's more
and they were told to put them on the cars years ago. Doug Gillespie said no. So
okay.
I find it unusual he wants it on the uniform.
We've got to go today. As always, a pleasure speaking with you, Dirk. It's been an absolutely great week here at the Queen Victoria Pub, and we'll see you next week on Let's Talk News Now. Be back.